Hello and welcome to the Program Design and Evaluation course. My name is Sultanat Liebert, and today's topic is planning and designing an intervention. As discussed in previous lectures, government programs are designed to solve social problems. This slide demonstrates the methodology for designing government and nonprofit programs. Once policymakers decide which social problem needs to get addressed, the first phase is to conduct problem analysis and needs assessment. Based on this phase, hypotheses should be developed. Hypotheses are an expression of program theory about which interventions would achieve the most impactful outcome within the limits of the financial resources available. Program hypotheses are a series of if and then statements. If we do X, Y, and Z, we will reach the desired program outcome. Hypotheses should be developed based on research and best practices. Developing hypotheses involves 4 key steps. The first step is a statement of a condition. For example, 70% of second graders in New Orleans read below their grade level. The second is a statement of a social problem. This is twice as high compared to other school districts. And I'm using this comparison as an example here, as I don't know how this compares to other school districts. The third step is the needs assessment. Why are these kids behind in reading? Could it be that their parents are recent immigrants and have low literacy rates? Or is it because most of these students were forced to relocate because of Hurricane Katrina and missed significant amount of schooling? Or is it because the school district does not fund reading specialists in elementary schools? The fourth step is building the hypotheses, developing specific activities or interventions to achieve the desired outcome. The activities could include arranging one-on-one tutoring in reading, distribution of age-appropriate and engaging books that the kids could take home, funding and hiring experienced reading specialists for each school, and working with parents to get them more engaged in supporting their kids reading at home. We would hypothesize that based on previous research, these interventions would be effective in improving the kids' reading ability. The next step in addressing social problems is establishing goals and objectives for a program based on the hypotheses that were developed. Program goals set up a direction for a program. A program should typically have one goal to ensure that it stays focused. Using an earlier example, this goal would be reducing the number of second graders reading below grade level. Set of objectives to achieve this goal would include providing tutoring by reading instructors to the kids who read below the grade level, providing interesting, level-appropriate and age-appropriate books for the kids to take home. Another objective would be engaging parents and providing appropriate tools and techniques to them to support the kids reading at home. All of these objectives need to have specific measures. How do we set good objectives? They need to be clear, specific, measurable. They need to have a timeline, be realistic, and have responsible parties for ensuring that objectives are achieved. Objectives should have outcome and process components. Outcome objectives focus on an improvement in the quality of life for program participants. These objectives should clearly state what the impact on program participants is expected to be. Process objectives are focused on program implementation and outline the milestones that are necessary to achieve the outcome objectives. The next step in the problem-solving process is designing a program or an intervention. Program design is the process of identifying elements that need to be in place to deliver a program. This includes determining the needs of different types of clients and determining which service and in what volume they should receive to achieve the program goals. In the reading example, the type of service could be one-on-one tutoring. The volume of service could be tutoring 3 times a week, for example. The expected result would be reading at grade level or above. Each program should have the following key elements. Inputs. These include a physical building, for example, to provide programming in, supplies, staff with appropriate skills, and adequate funding to complete the program. The next program element is process. These are activities that use inputs to achieve program objectives. In the example of a reading program, tutoring sessions would be activities. Outputs are measurements of the services that are provided to program participants. Outcomes are the benefits to program participants. And finally, impact is a positive change that occurs as a result of a program. In the example of a reading program, the desired impact would be reading at a grade level or higher as a result of this program, which in turn positively impacts academic performance in other subjects and leads to lifelong love of reading. All of these program elements go into designing a logic model. I'll talk more about the logic model in future lectures. This is the end of the lecture on planning and designing programs. Thank you for your attention and take care.